Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll, wrist on froze. Don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the shit follow code. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll, wrist on froze. Don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. I jumped off the porch and I started a wave. Y'all niggas was stuck in the fish tank. When motherfuckers see me, it's nothing but love. The real niggas know I got big brain. The reefer is potent, my flow is the coldest. They can't wait till I get a big break. Told the bitch I'm a killer, she said I'm a minister. Bitch made me feel like Lorenz Tate. I'm keeping it humble without all the stunting. I'm moving more solid than most niggas. Ain't no type of morals and no type of honor, and that be my problem with most niggas. When I'm with the mafia, we get it poppin'. I'm popping my collar like those niggas. Ain't looking for cod, don't want no tilapia when I tell niggas I'm going fishing. When I'm back on the hoe, gotta reel it in. And I ain't a nigga, I'm feeling in. Good spirits, bad vibes, number 5, you know that I'm working till the 10. I'm a go with the flow, I'm sinister. Somebody should call up the minister. Hop off the flight, pull up on finish. You know the sack on me like Willie McGinnis. Fuck niggas hate when I say I'm the illest. They should talk about you. Know my parents.
Hey, peace world. What's good? What's good? We'll jump into some pay me no mind. my bad. Some pay me no mind business. Let me get this out the way real quick. You see the background. You saw what the title was. Getting ready to jump into some thoughts on just a quick reaction to the new Amazon original, One Night in Miami, directed by Regina King, who did a phenomenal job. Shout out to sis. Shout out to sis for real. The movie also stars Eli Gorey as Cassius Clay. Great job from my man. I talked about him before. He was on a show called Pearson. They got canceled last year. It was on USA. He played he was a regular on the show, but and I was getting into what they were doing with his character, but the show got canceled. Also, they had Kingsley Ben-Adir as Malcolm X. They had Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke. Lance Reddick played a bodyguard. I'm actually gonna go back and do a full length review of the movie, but I'm gonna do that on This Always Personal on my podcast. I might come back on here and talk about some other aspects of the movie, but I hope you checked it out, especially my boxing fans out there, or my fellow boxing fans out there that tune into the show. I thought it was great. I thought it was the right level of how Regina King worked boxing into the show, into the movie. It's good with this thing right here. But I thought it was dope how I thought it was just enough how she worked that into the movie. With the fight that was in the UK, as well as the Sonny Liston fight. And I was going into this thing like, I've said this before, like I'm always skeptical of movies with one that happen in one setting or in one night or one day. I'm always a little skeptical of how that can turn out, but I thought they did an excellent job. This is another movie adapted from a screenplay. What's my man? I wanted to call out this writer on here. Kemp Powers, I believe is his name. Yeah, Kemp Powers. Like I said, directed by Regina King. Just some quick stats on it real quick. Looks like it's doing well. It's being received, critically received. 98% with 252 critics, the compiled score of 252 critics, and then 84% with 207 user ratings. So that's pretty good. I think anywhere from mid 80s to probably mid 90s for me. I dug the movie. I thought it was phenomenal. What I really wanted to get into though about the movie itself, I don't want to talk about the whole thing, but with the title that I thought I put out there, what's good? Monty Brown TV, what's good with you, bro? I saw you last night doing your thing. But what I really wanted to talk about was, along with Sylvie's Love that I talked about previously, along with the Ma Rainey's joint, black men been colliding with one another for a long time. Shout out to Sam Cooke. It's been a long time. Black men been colliding with other black men for a long time. And right now, I see it thrown around about strong black man this, be a strong black man that, strong black man this. But you can't even be your own self. And that's why all of these brothers was in here weakened, because they were being judged. They were being disrespected. They were being, you had somebody sitting here in Malcolm X judging Sam Cooke, who does what he does in his world. Now we find out later in the movie that level of appreciation and respect for Sam Cooke. And he finally told him after he messed with him the entire movie and was pressing his buttons. And he wanted Sam Cooke. He thought that Sam Cooke should be using his voice for his cause, for his struggle. What kind of shit is that? This man has a gift in his industry, in the arena where he's dope. His ass. Bruh, I did this, I made this move, I signed black artists, I produce black artists, I give black artists a way to eat, I give black artists a way to earn money. The hell are you to question me on what I'm doing? Then he told him about the slick business deal where he got Bobby Womack was who he was talking about. But he got a song from Bobby Womack that he wrote and that was doing a little something on the R&B charts. And the Rolling Stones, I can't even remember the lead singer of the Rolling Stones off the top of my head. I haven't seen them in a while. But the Rolling Stones reached out to Womack, was pissed about it. Like, you gonna give my song to these white cats? Sam Cooke goes and gives him the song, gives him permission to do the song. And then he told him, 6 months later, when the royalty checks started coming in, Bobby Womack was like, hey, do they want any more songs? Can I give them any more songs? Do they like anything else in my catalog? And this is the thing, when you don't respect what another man brings to the table. And the weakest dude in the room, and this came to light too, the weakest dude in the room out of all four of these men and their respective, what they do in life, the weakest man in the room thought he was the strongest man in the room and had controlled the whole situation, was setting up, we're going to hang out here tonight in this hotel room versus going out to party with Cassius Clay, who just became champion of the world. But I got y'all in here and I'm getting ready to have y'all do what I need you to do, because I'm down bad right now. Yeah, you're right, Mick Jagger. Damn, I'm thinking, I said that. But Malcolm X is down here. He's down bad right now in this movie. And like I said, if you saw the out on Netflix, if you saw the Sam Cooke documentary, if you watched a couple of movies on Cassius Clay / Muhammad Ali, this all kind of adds up. The one figure that I wasn't aware who was really in the mix in this thing was Jim Brown. And Aldis Hodge as Jim Brown stole the show, in my opinion. I'm really tuning in thinking I'm gonna watch Malcolm X and Cassius Clay, and steadily Aldis Hodge steals the show. And I'm rocking with Aldis Hodge because he represents a brother that's strong, that's already carrying the load. He didn't put him, he was the most authentic dude there, and he was his own man already. Cassius Clay is he's still becoming something. He's 22 years old, I believe, at the time. He's confident as hell in the ring on the stage that he performs on, but he's impressionable. Meanwhile, Malcolm X is on the outs with the Nation of Islam and needs to make this play of getting Cassius Clay on his side so that when he goes and creates his new organization, more people will come over. His own thing. Like he said, he runs a company. He owns a business. He's providing for other people to earn money. He's putting people to work. And that's another thing that I tell people. I don't want to hear shit from no brother on YouTube telling me nothing about black this, black that. If you don't employ other people, shut the hell up. I don't like all of Tyler Perry's movies, but how many millionaires or people on their way to being a millionaire has Tyler Perry made? So I'm not going to sit here and talk about Tyler Perry in a dress, in a wig. He's gay. I don't give a damn. He's feeding people. I see you out of here, Monty Brown. I guess I said something you might not have liked. That's all right. But it's constantly some brother sitting up over another black man telling him what he needs to be doing and how he needs to do it. Aldis Hodge was on here doing his thing, though, because Jim Brown was like, look, I'm going to do what I want to do. And he came in. Jim Brown showed us like the everyday brother. Like he came into the room after the fight and was like, shit, I was ready to go out and get some loving. I was ready to holler at some women. Like that's where his mind was. He drinks. And that's the thing. You know, he plays hard and lives hard. He has fun. I'm out here doing all of this, what's up, Monty Brown? I was getting ready to talk on the whole black boxing thing, but I'm trying to stay away from it. Because I find myself in this situation too with the content that I talk about on my channel as it relates to boxing. Like I said, I'm gonna stay away from that. Because again, I'm on the outs of the shit because I don't talk about it the way that the majority of the brothers on here do. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to talk about how many ignorant ass channels I watch with lies, bullshit, messed up facts. And I'm watching the movie tonight. I just found it on my movie app. It's dope, man. It's dope. It's dope. It really is. But the thing here is that I said I didn't know about Jim Brown being in the mix, and I really didn't know what this movie was going to be about. But what I dug about Jim Brown in this movie and Aldis Hodge's performance as Jim Brown was he was intimidating. I mean, here's a dude who didn't play he didn't play football with any thigh pads and hip pads and stuff on. All the yards that he ran, you know, he was dominant. I mean, almost 2,000 yards in like a 14, 12 game season or something. Jim Brown was a beast. But he'd already been doing all of this in the public eye. You know, he had the issue with coming into the league. If you saw the movie, I can't even think of the name. I need to look this stuff up before I jump on here. But the other one where they were talking about the other brother who was at Syracuse before Jim Brown. But Jim Brown had already been shouldering all of this stuff. He had already dealt with all of this stuff that black athletes get into. And the movie closed with him and the contract situation where he just walked away from the game and was like, I go do something else. Whatever. I'm working on my new career. But he intimidated the rest of the guys in the room because he's this big ass athlete. And he challenged Malcolm X. And he pointed some things out to Malcolm X, who thought he was towering over these other brothers intellectually. And is Cassius Clay, again, he's a young man. He's impressionable. Things aren't happening. Boxing. He's coming out of the Olympics. We all know the story about him coming back from the Olympics and going and being at home in Kentucky or whatever, and supposedly throwing his gold medal into the lake because he said he couldn't eat at a diner or something. I think it was in Louisville, but he couldn't eat some food in a diner, and got pissed off and went to some river or whatever, the lake or whatever, some body of water, and threw the his gold medal into it because he was so pissed off. And that was the thing. If you check out some of the videos that are out there of Cassius Clay and Muhammad Ali, not book smart and college educated, graduate and all of that type of stuff, but he looked at things and was able to put things in very simple terms and explain racial matters and his reason for, his personal code. So that's it, man. I really didn't want to hop on here and talk too much. Like I said, I'm gonna do Ernie Davis. Damn, you got me together on that too. Ernie Davis. Thanks, Monty Brown. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's just sometimes we need to slow down and understand one another and what one another brings to the table, the perspective that someone else might bring to the situation. It's like I said, there's some channels on here, some cats on here that I don't disagree with. I have our perspectives. It's a stark contrast between my thoughts and their thoughts. But I watch some of this stuff. I'm done even sharing my thoughts. I don't even go in some of these live chats or some of these live streams. I don't even bother sharing my views no more. Because if you got 30 people all in there on the same thing, then I already know what the deal is. I already know what's up. So I just keep my thoughts to myself. But I hear a lot of shit that is not true and nowhere near true. A lot of stuff that doesn't even carry water. I just stay over here and do my own stuff. But I liked when I thought the dope part of the movie was when Aldis Hodge got the time alone with Malcolm X and really got in Malcolm's ass and really opened up Malcolm's eyes that I'm agreeing to go along with your stuff, and I went along with what you wanted to do tonight. Like I'm showing deference to you but I really could have left and did what the hell I wanted to do and what my interests are. But I'm following you, and I'm trying to make some sense of what you're talking about, because I got some stuff going on in my own life that I might be able to apply some of this to. So it was just, and like I said, the only person in the mix that could have really challenged him in any way when it got confrontational, when it got turned up in there, the only dude that could do anything with him was Cassius Clay. But that was a dope scene. Before I get off of here, there was one thing that I wanted to talk about as it relates to what the title of the video is, and with it not really, it's been a long time since it's really been about we. It kind of kills me with some of this stuff that I see on YouTube constantly. Like we all united, like we all support one another. And like some of these dudes know what the hell they think they're sitting on here talking about. So this movie takes place in 1964 when Cassius Clay is trying to figure out, he's battling with what he's been ready to make this decision to join the Nation of Islam. So if you put two and two together, you can see that Elijah Muhammad got the drop on them, and Cassius Clay went with the Nation of Islam. He went with the strength in numbers. This is why I say you got to be ready to go out here and do what you got to do on your own, man. And flat out end the story. And Malcolm X learns this lesson the hard way. But he was down there on his last draw trying to bring the young, and it was a bit dirty, he was down there with ulterior motives, but I mean, he had big love for Cassius Clay, but he needed him. And he didn't keep it a buck with him. He didn't keep it up front. He wasn't real with him up front. And it comes out at the end of the movie of what was really going on, because with Cassius Clay making this decision, it was going to be a firestorm of stuff for him to go through that he needed strength in numbers. He needed something like the Nation of Islam. It really wasn't comfortable to be out there with this brother trying to do something new, not at that particular time. But this is in 1964, ahead of that decision, which he announced at the end of the movie. But what I'm getting ready to talk about is the Ali Summit / the Cleveland Summit 3 years later in 1967. Because right now I'm seeing some cats out here talking about, I had a little back and forth with a brother on a comment section the other day, and he said that Bob Arum of Top Rank, switching over to boxing just a little bit, bringing this back home, but he said Bob Arum was racist. Let me throw this disclaimer out there from the jump. I don't know if Bob Arum is racist or not racist. I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. So I asked the brother, well, how is he racist? He said everybody knows that he's racist. Okay, well, tell me how he's racist. Brother just came back and said he's just racist. All the fighters left him. Just because some fighters, Black, Latino, Asian, whatever, just because some fighters left him, and just because it may have been 4 or 5 guys, does not make him a racist. Because you have differences in business and approaches to business and maneuverings in business, that doesn't make somebody a racist. Cleveland just scored to get back within one of KC. They putting up a good fight. Like, this constant focus on racism. And I'm not saying that it's not out there and it's not a problem. But just because Floyd Mayweather left Bob Arum, and because exactly, Ron Finkel, everybody is for himself, him or herself. Everybody. But just because somebody has a different approach to how to do business, that doesn't make somebody a racist. I asked the question before, how is Jay Prince in his status in the streets and everything that Jay Prince represents? How is he sending all of his young fighters over to Bob Arum if Bob Arum is just a flagrant racist? What's up with Jay Prince that I don't know? And I'm not even the biggest Jay Prince fan, but I mean, he carries, his name is what it is in the streets and in hip hop, and in the streets hip hop, in the industry, that bullshit. So what is it about Jay Prince that he hasn't vetted Bob Arum and that he's just in business with this flagrant racism? I mean, it's flagrant racist. Just help me out. Just help me out understand. I'm not necessarily saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, give me a little bit of more information so I can understand where you're coming from. That's the thing. You ask anybody a question on, not everybody, but 97% of the time, you ask somebody just to expound on something, help me to see what you're talking about, and it's some smoke. It's clashing right away. Like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to understand your point, man. You said something that on his face doesn't really add up, so I'm just asking you for more information. Now I'm a bitch ass this and a punk ass that and a sellout and a coon and all. I just wanted you to explain what you said. Bob Arum is the plug, says Ron Finkley. Just because Bob Arum won't give us Spence and Crawford, that doesn't make him a racist. So what I'm getting ready to talk about is this article from 2017 about the Ali Summit. At this time, Ali was facing charges for draft dodging. And they had all of these black athletes came together up in Cleveland at the request of Jim Brown in June of 1967. And they wanted to show support, quote unquote, they wanted to show support for Muhammad Ali. He refused to fight in Vietnam for valid reasons. I was with him. I mean, I wasn't here at the time, but I'm with him on that. But Bill Russell came, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Carl Stokes, Walter Beach, Bobby Mitchell, played for my Washington Redskins at the time, Sid Williams, Curtis McClinton, Willie Davis, Jim Shorter, and John Wooten. They all met up. What I want to read to you is a couple paragraphs talking about Bob Arum being a racist. Now, Bob Arum, very well, I mentioned this earlier on my podcast. It's always personal. The link is in the description. People see a good business venture bringing their boxers to top rank. You're right. I'm almost to the point, I don't care if you racist or not. Do you respect me and do you do right by me? I don't know what everybody harbors in their head, to be honest with you. How do you treat me? What's the deals that you offer me? I mean, how can he be somebody just to say something he's racist with Terrence Crawford? How do you have Terrence Crawford and you're paying him one of the best guarantees? What you go does racist? You go pay a black man one of the best guarantees in the whole sport? That don't add up to me. But anyway, so this article that's on the Undefeated by Jonathan E.I.G. It says, before the meeting in Cleveland, boxing promoter Bob Arum. This is 1967. Before the meeting in Cleveland, boxing promoter Bob Arum and others, including prominent members of the Nation of Islam, NOI, trying to persuade Ali to accept a deal that one of Arum's law partners had negotiated with the government. If Ali would agree to perform boxing exhibitions for U.S. troops, the draft dodging charges would be dropped. At the time, Arum was running a company called Main Bout, which could control the closed circuit television rights for Ali's fights. This is back in, this man been doing business with black people for, 50, 60 years. Again, Clyde Davis over in the recording world, Jimmy Iovine over in the recording world. They've been doing a lot of business with brothers and sisters for a long time. You can say what you want to say, what you think they are or whatever. I don't, that's on you. But Main Bout needed Ali to attract closed circuit viewers. Among Arum's partners in Main Bout were Jim Brown. I didn't know that. I did not know that Jim Brown was actually involved in some business stuff that was related to boxing back in the day. Jim Brown and two leading figures in the Nation of Islam, Herbert Muhammad, son of the Nation of Islam's leader, Elijah Muhammad, and John Ali, the Nation of Islam's national secretary. John Ali told me, the writer of this article, this is from John Ali himself. This isn't some rumor. John Ali himself told the writer of this article that he and Herbert Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad's son, profited personally from the agreement with Main Bout. It wasn't a deal with the nation. Next paragraph. That meant Arum, Brown, Herbert Muhammad, and John Ali all had an incentive to get Ali in the ring as soon as possible. A lot of money was on the line. It's always about the bag. In addition, Arum told Jim Brown, that if he and other black athletes could persuade Ali to resume boxing, the athletes would be rewarded with local closed circuit franchises. In essence, a portion of the proceeds from Ali's fights would go to these athletes. Brown, who organized the meeting, had retired as the NFL's all-time leading rusher a couple of years earlier and was working as an actor while also pursuing his interest in black economic empowerment. He meant well, but did he tell Muhammad Ali before he got him to this summit that I got a side deal with Bob Arum? Another thing that comes out in the bottom of this article is the meeting held in the offices of Brown's Negro Industrial and Economic Union had only one purpose, according to Arum, to convince Ali to take the deal because it opened up tremendous opportunities for black athletes. He continued, I wasn't setting it up for the athletes to rally around Ali. That's Bob Arum keeping it a buck. I wasn't setting it up for the athletes to rally around Ali. I was trying to get this money. Several of the men in Cleveland were military veterans. Some believe Elijah Muhammad's separatist ideology was racist, and if followed through would lead to an American apartheid. They arrived intent on challenging Ali. And it says in here, Davis was one of the 3 men in the room who confirmed Arum's version of the story. So they corroborated all of this before they put this stuff out. I'm trying to see who Davis is real quick. What was that? Was that Ernie Davis? They didn't mention him up here in this picture, but I'm assuming that's Ernie Davis. Get off. He was like, yeah. I can only take people at their face value. And that's why right now, with the whole Deontay Wilder situation, I haven't said anything on it yet, as some of this mediation thing has kind of unfolded. I really don't care about Deontay Wilder's business. I'll check you out in the next fight, bro. Whether it's Charles Martin or whoever else, that's all I'm really interested in, man. I wasn't at the mediation. I don't know. I don't know why he was so quiet earlier in the year. When I don't know. I don't know. $32 million. I don't know, bro. I can put two and two together, though. I mean, I can think of a few things and think that $32 million. If anybody would have gave that amount of money, I'm sure a non-disclosure act would have been in place to keep all of this quiet. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I'm just saying $32 million for boxing is an enormous amount of money. An enormous amount of money. And if somebody would have had to fork over or had the intentions of forking over $32 million for somebody to do nothing, you would not want that information out there that happened. This is when I'm seeing this shit. Somebody texted me earlier. Did you see this? Man, come on, bro. Who cares? Ain't nobody seeing nothing. It's a couple of cats that have a couple of phone numbers that they get text messages from. Maybe they have a phone call every once in a while, but they go out here and spread what needs to be spread to make this shit look a certain way. I like to see Wilder fight Hrgovic for a tune-up, but I guess everyone wants him to fight Charles Martin. And that's the thing, Finkley, from the whole cheating thing and the gloves and blah, 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 and this and that, and the drugs and Mark Breland and whatever, are you fighting anymore? That's all I care about. You fighting anymore? Hrgovic is over on DAZN, so I mean that's a roadblock to that right off the rip. But I like that fight. And that's a lot of these cats. Like, if you can't get what you want, what's the song say? If you can't get the one you love the one you with. Like, it's somebody nearby who you can fight that'll make an attractive fight. If you can't get the fight with Tyson Fury, I'm not getting ready to sit here and join in on the PBC didn't do this, Al Heyman that, Shelly Finkel, they failed him, blah, blah. Whatever, man. I mean, who knows? I'm sure everybody did the best they could do, in all honesty. I'm sure everybody did the best they thought they could do. I will say, I don't even know. I might get into that later. Hey, I'm getting ready to get on off of here. Like I said, man, I thought that article was very interesting. I might come back and put the link to that article in the description or in the comments or something. But like I said, man, you think it's all about we? It's been a long time since it's all about we. In all reality, Here you had all these brothers who brought young Muhammad Ali to Cleveland talking about we want to support you, but all of them were getting ready to get paid, probably, to have to get a cut of the pay-per-view money that was going to be generated in the city that they were in, most likely. The only thing that's dirty about it is that they didn't tell him about this. Now, they could have told him, as you saw in the movie, in One Night in Miami, you saw in the movie that Jim Brown instigated the truth in Malcolm X having to keep it a buck with Cassius Clay and tell him that, I'm kind of not, I'm kind of out in these streets by myself right now. And he wasn't ready to let him know. He called his woman and was like, "Why Monty Brown hasn't seen the movie yet, but man, check it out later on tonight." I'm just saying, man, be a little tolerable of one another. Be willing to be a little understanding of the perspectives of others. Like if you talk to anybody, man, it's a good chance they bring something to the table. Like I said, I sit on here and I watch some stuff from time to time. I highly disagree with a lot of this shit. And the shit, like I said, the shit for me don't even add up. It don't even add up. But there might be one thing in there that and that's all I can take away from the discussion. Sometimes. Anyway, check out my man Sleeko Got Bars' new single, man. It's called Follow Code. It's a pretty dope record. He just said on here in that first verse that I just made it through on the way in on the intro, he said something about brothers, is not enough standards, there's not enough codes. That's why I don't mess with too many dudes. Like if we're all saying that, if all of us as a man is saying we don't F with other brothers because brothers don't have any morals, brothers don't have any whatever. If we're all saying that, then what's that really say about us? We don't really F with each other like we like to get out here and portray. Because if it's going to be me or you, which is often the situation, that's what was dope about Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was like, bro, you sitting in here questioning me because I don't do speeches and I don't talk about the white man this and the devil that and this and that. Because that's not how I roll. You're going to sit here and question who I am and you're going to deny my fault. I mean, you're going to deny what I bring to the table. Damn if we do, damn if we don't. Get it right. Peace. All right, Ronald Finkley, man. Good hollering at you. You're right. That's the truth. What my man, how my man was in Do the Right Thing. That's the truth, Ruth. I mean, that's it. You damned if you do, damned if you don't. Sadly, we out here just clashing with one another. Let me get on out of here. Said my man Sleeko Got Bars. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Oh,
check my goals, count my roll. Some froze, don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. I'm beating the odds, you niggas be flawed, you giving the real niggas bad names. Play with the guard, pull up like Rashad, you think it was Sunday at Cascade. I pull up like the Hooters, I be with some shooters, but now we on hoop on this campaign. Like a bitch with some Hooters, she wet like a scuba, so she wanna fuck with my campaign. I come from the bottom, and now that I got it, you niggas can't tell me a damn thing. I put in the hours and count up the profit, the pistol up under the lampshade. I pray every day when I'm leaving the house, every night I be giving the man praise. Tryna run up the guala, you know ain't no stopping with me and JR on a fast break. One thing about it, I really rap. If I said it, I'm in it, I'm really that. Hit them all and I blow it, I get it back. All gold, everything like I'm Trinidad. I'ma go with the flow, but I'm sinister. Somebody should call up the minister. When I'm in the building, it's usual business. I'm killing the show, don't care who's in attendance. I know that my woman be super suspicious. Ain't really too much I can do about her feelings. I get the money and bring it home. Then I play my new shit and she sing along. When we argue, I'm like, are we done yet? I think I done found me a knee alone. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll. Wrist on froze, don't check me, check the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code. Stand 10 toes, check my goals, count my roll. Wrist on froze, don't check me, the hoe. Gotta make sure every nigga in the set follow code.